Every night at exactly 9 p.m. she walked out of that office building. Same store, same silence. And for 6 years, nobody at that company ever saw her after 9:01. Tonight, someone finally followed her, and what they found changed everything they thought they knew about her. Her name was Amal. She worked in the mailroom of Corvin Industries, the quiet girl nobody really noticed. She wore the same navy cardigan every day, and she had this one habit. Every time someone spoke to her too long, she'd glance at her watch and gently tap it twice. Like she was counting something only she understood. New employees assumed she just didn't like conversation. The senior staff assumed she was just the mailroom girl, polite, invisible, replaceable. Nobody asked why she left at 9 p.m. sharp every single night, rain or storm, deadline or not. Not even her supervisor, who once joked, "Amal's got a curfew like a teenager." But one new employee, a sharp, curious analyst named Daniel, noticed something the others missed. Amal never took sick days, never took vacations, and every night at 8:58 she'd start packing up like clockwork, tap her watch twice and walk out without a word. One evening Daniel stayed late finishing a report. At 8:58 he saw Amal get up as usual. But tonight, something felt different. She looked at the window for a second longer than usual, like she was bracing herself for something. Curious, and maybe a little concerned, Daniel decided to follow her. He told himself it was nothing. Just a walk in the same direction. But what he didn't know was that tonight wasn't an ordinary night for Amal at all. He followed her 3 blocks, watching her walk with that same steady pace. Then she turned into a building he didn't expect, St. Mercy Care Home. Daniel froze at the entrance, unsure whether to go in. Through the glass door he saw Amal greet the night nurse by name, sign a visitor's log and disappear down a hallway. He almost turned back, but then he saw something that made him stay. Through a half-open door Daniel saw Amal sit beside an elderly woman in a hospital bed. She gently took her hand, and Daniel's breath caught. She tapped her watch twice, the exact same gesture she did at work, and the old woman smiled and tapped hers back. A nurse quietly explained to Daniel what he was seeing. The woman was Amal's mother. 6 years ago, she'd been diagnosed with a condition that slowly took her memory. But there was one thing she never forgot. The little watch-tapping game they'd played since Amal was a little girl, a signal that meant, "I'm here, I haven't left you." Every single night. For 6 years, Amal left work at 9 p.m., not because of a curfew, not because she didn't care about her job, but because she'd promised her mother she'd never spend a night without seeing her face. She worked in the mailroom by choice, turning down 2 promotions over the years, because a higher position meant travel, late nights, and broken promises to a woman who was slowly forgetting the whole world, except her. Daniel didn't say a word to anyone that night, but the next morning, he quietly told his manager what he'd seen. Word reached the CEO of Corvin Industries by that afternoon. That evening, instead of leaving at 9, Amal was called into a private meeting. She assumed it was about a mistake in the shipping logs. Instead, the CEO stood up, shook her hand and said, "We built this company on the idea that character matters more than titles. You've been proving that every single night for 6 years, and none of us even noticed." They didn't promote her to a job that would take her away from her mother. Instead, they created a new position for her, head of employee well-being, one that let her work flexible hours, still make it to St. Mercy by 9 p.m. and use her story to help other employees who were quietly struggling too. That night, Amal walked into her mother's room at 9 p.m., just like always. She took her hand, tapped her watch twice. Her mother tapped hers back, and for a moment, in her eyes, Amal could see she remembered exactly who she was. Some people chase titles their whole lives. Amal just kept a promise, and in the end that was the only title that ever mattered to her. If this story moved you, there's another one waiting. Sometimes the quietest people are carrying the heaviest, most beautiful secrets.